So great to see you, Terje. Absolutely fantastic.
Likewise,
And
my friend.
what we wanted to do today was, I think we wanted to talk a little bit about D-Days and why we started D-Days and why
Cool.
it's a must-attend event. So why don't we get right into it after we do the quick introduction, maybe from ourselves, so that people that listen in know who we are, and then we dive into the topics of the D-Days. Do you want to get
Yeah,
started, Terje?
yeah, I could do that. So my career started in the military, uh, approximately 10 years. Then I went in the civilian and became a entrepreneur. Actually, started off in a easy way to do business, which is network marketing, and later on moved on and established a more traditional way of doing business. And I've done business in several different sectors. So I think that just proves that I'm a curious person. I like to dig into new things, and also then thank you for inviting me into this United Metaverse, which is totally new to me.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much for joining, Terje. And it's probably important to say to everyone around here that Terje and I have been friends since we've met in London a few years ago at a, dare I say it, whiskey tasting, and at Fortnum and Mason, wasn't it, Terje? Some
Amazing.
some times ago, and yeah, and we have discovered that we share a lot of the same passions for interesting business, for innovation, for cool and also for fun stuff. My background is really data and data security, privacy, and entrepreneurship, which I've followed over the last many years. I've worked as a multifamily office advisor for their deal flow. So I was looking at quite a number of startups in the past. And a few years ago, when, or actually a year and a half ago, when my friend and co-founder Gabi approached me and said, like, well, we should start something around the metaverse because what's currently there is not good enough. I set out to start United, which is one of the founding partners and or one of the strategic partners of the D-Days. And that's a little bit about me. And that's how United has become a part of the D-Days as well. And I worked with Reinhold on the D-Days already in 2019. And Brian was there as well, who's here today as well in the audience. So we've had a lot of fun at the D-Days 2019. And then, yeah, COVID happened and we had to postpone a little bit. But the idea behind the D-Days has always been to promote decentralization, to talk about digital innovation, to talk about cool new things, and to somehow bring opportunities together, create a network of experts and smart and interesting topics, and let people exchange their thoughts, their views, and build something together. That was always the idea behind the D-Days. And it hadn't worked really well in 2019. It hadn't worked so well in 2020 because of the pandemic, which made us a Strich durch die Rechnung, I say in German, which basically forbid us to do it. And now we're back in 23, and we're really excited. Terje, what are you most excited about when you think about the D-Days?
So I believe that it is especially two things that separates D-Days from so many other business events. And one thing is that the size of it and the quality more than quantity, which means that the absolutely majority of people that will attend to D-Days are decision makers in the business they are operating in. And this brings so much higher value than the average business event around the world. This is something that I am, as a business owner myself, super interested to take part in the D-Days. So it is the second part, I would say, that really trigger me to get involved with D-Days is that it's so well balanced that we have a lot of time for networking. and it's not like pumped up with just a lot of good keynote speakers. That there is a good balance, so there's a lot of time to networking, to, as you said, creating good discussions for each business owner and C-level guy that is participating. They can go back home and they have been able to discuss challenges they have in their business, to maybe find solution there and then, maybe to connect with other influential business owners for a future cooperation. So I think that the value of the D-Days are higher than many other business events. And of course, as the slogan says, fun in the sun. Mallorca is just what a beautiful place to run a business event.
Yeah, thanks, Gabi. I think you summarized it really well. We are missing Reinhold Lang here today, who is what the third person that started everything together with us. Reinhold owns a networking and co-working space in Mallorca, in Palma de Mallorca, and runs it since a little over 2 years now. He's made it all the way through Corona, a place called Bay Sense, where we meet quite regularly, which is also a fantastic example of, I think, the core values that we present, meaning hospitality and the ability to introduce people to others. If you ever make it to Palma, you definitely should go to Reinhold's place at Bay Sense, because you'll always be welcomed very warmly with a cup of coffee and some cookies and other things from Sandra, his wife, when you're there. So that's something else I think that we said several times between us, that we really like to host people. We really love to have people around us. We really like to bring people together, like Terje said. And I think that's one thing that you can be sure of, that when you make it to the D-Days, you will have a fantastic time. You will have fun in the sun, like Terje said. You will have great networking. You will discover new opportunities. You will learn something on top of everything else, because the few networking and the few speakers that we have there are tremendously interesting. Terje, can we or shall we already drop a few names on some of the people that have agreed to come so far, or shall we keep it for the next time? What do you reckon?
I think we should hold back on that. We have them lined up, at least few of them. But I think before we announce it, it should be more specific down to their speech of way of presenting their vision. But it's all about what we can say. It's all about innovation, and it is innovation in sectors that I would say 90% of businesses that are attending D-Days will benefit from. It goes in the direction of traveling. It goes in the direction of payment solutions. So this is all businesses will be very happy to learn more about. And isn't it so, Florian, that being a business owner, you can reach a high level of competence in your sector, but a business owner that do not engage with other sectors will always have a blind sight for what's coming next in the market. And D-Days will support each business owner to widen their horizon, to see a little bit more what's ahead of them, even in their sector of business.
Very, very good point, Terje. And I've made that point myself many times before. Couldn't agree more that if you are open-minded enough to learn from other industries, you can avoid a bunch of mistakes that you don't have to make, and you can learn how to maybe and also get inspired from others on what to do better. And especially in our fast-moving world, where we have so many topics right now that are out there, that are artificially complicated by some because they want to make a living of it. We try, I think, as the D-Days, we try to make it easier to take the myth away and just decompose topics in a way that people will start understanding them. So when we're talking about Web3 or Web4, we'll know the difference between Web3 or Web4. When we're talking about artificial intelligence, we'll be able to show some examples and we'll make it very easy to understand what that means. And then also we'll talk a lot about use cases, about people that have deployed certain technologies and made experiences with it. So it'll be really something for the hands-on folks, but I think it'll also be something for the people that want to experiment, that want to learn, that want to, open up their minds a little bit to opportunities that are out there. And in our fast-paced space, you need every help you can get because nobody can be an expert in everything these days. It's almost impossible. And that's why we also then decided to leave the D-Days switched on after the event itself. The spaces like this space that you're seeing here right now will continue to be alive. You'll continue to be able to walk in there to learn and learning journeys, to take assets and reuse them, certain materials, documents, speeches, recordings, and other things, because otherwise it'll be impossible for you to stay on top of all the innovation that's happening in the next few years. And talking about innovation, Terje, is there any topic that really excites you very much, or is everything equally interesting and exciting for you as it is for me?
In the last few years, the Metaverse and AI have, of course, been headlines in media. I'm not, as you, a tech guy, but I am curious. What I think, and I think you will agree that what's missing in this space is an easy entrance point. And I think that I am in the big group that are curious, want to see how this can have a positive effect on my business, even though it is very, very, from my skills, distance. So I believe that getting the support of a very simple entry point will that's what I personally want to gain from the D-Days, to learn more about how to implement and make Metaverse AI part of my business.
Yeah, and I think that's cool, right? Like you said earlier, looking at other industries, looking at how they've done it, hearing from practitioners, but also hearing from leaders in their field. I think that's really something I'm tremendously looking forward myself. I think we're even a bit selfish here because these are topics that really excite us, that really genuinely interest us, that will have a massive impact on future generations. And us bringing people together, that's also good for us. We also learn every time we bring people together with different perspectives. We can learn something ourselves, and I'm tremendously excited for that opportunity. I think there'll be a lot of really cool additional announcements in the next few weeks and the next few days, even, right? So we have the side events. And Terje, just out of curiosity, we have several side events planned. If you have to take a pick, do you have any idea what your preferred side event will be on the Friday after the conference?
That's the big challenge, my friend, because uh, all of them, I want to join all of the side events, but of course they go on at the same time. I think I will finally end up with the golf tournament. But I'm super, I'm passionate about yachting. So we will have catamarans there for a day at the ocean around Mallorca, which will be amazing. And we will have wine tasting. So yeah, but I think I will end up with the golf tournament.
Yeah, I won't be able to, sadly, because I'm going to be stuck on a boat as one of the one of the skippers, but I'll still have fun, and maybe I sail close to the golf place so that we can have a look at how you perform, you guys. But
Yeah.
then we also have Andrea. You've been recently. I don't know whether she can hear us now. Andrea's been super helpful in setting everything up and making it happen. She's been the one that works the magic behind the scenes. Has helped Terje with all this great lookup, and so it's really fantastic work. Andrea, you've been recently at one of the other side events at Frank Marucha's vineyard. Uh, what do you think about that as a side event? Is it something that you would attend, or would you rather come on the boat? Because I know you have a history in both. As a
You're giving me two difficult options here. Uh, well, the Frank Marucha winery looks fantastic as well, and I know he has really good chefs and events going on there. So that would be good if we could kind of have both. But yeah, I mean the catamarans will be a really nice time for people to bond, and then the vineyard would be very good for wine tasting and having a lunch as well. So if you could fit both of them in,
yeah.
I'll take my decision a bit later.
Okay, good.
Difficult.
Yeah, it's really difficult. But that's one of the beautiful things about, and the reason why we picked the place Mallorca is A, it is tremendously easy to access from anywhere in Europe and really around the world. Now we have daily flights from the US as well. Every day we have one flight coming in from New York, which is new as opposed to the last years where it was one flight a week. We have, I'd say, hourly flights from London, which is fantastic for me. We have lots of flights to everywhere, so it's easy to get there. It's reasonably affordable still in terms of location, in terms of uh, living, and also the hotels are reasonably all right. And then there's tons and tons of things you can do. So not only can you attend one of the coolest events in 23, one of the most fun events in 23 with super interesting people like Terje, Reinhold, and many others that are here today in the audience and are working behind the scenes and are looking forward to joining. But you will also be able to extend your stay potentially a little bit and then go ahead and maybe spend a few more days with a family somewhere on a nice beach, explore the caves, go hiking in the mountains, take a boat out into the bay, take some of the excursions. There's tons of things you can do if you want to stay longer, or you just up your tennis game a little bit at Nadal's place in the tennis academy of Rafael Nadal. So there's plenty of things you can do if you want to extend your stay a little bit. But we're going to have from Wednesday onwards, we're going to have some Rip Club party. We're going to have boats out there. We're going to have a fantastic pre-party. We're going to have a really cool networking event on the main day, and then on the last day, the side events that we just talked about. Yeah, so I think, Terje, I don't know about you, but I think after the 3 days, we'll probably need a holiday and a little bit of sleep.
For sure. But yeah, so to wrap it up from my side, I would say, because every business owner will ask themselves why join the D-Days event. I
Yeah,
think it's three good main points. Learn, connect, fun. Learn and learn about innovation in not your own sector, but other sectors, to see how you can strengthen your business by implementing future and existing technology. Secondly, the connecting with decision makers. And since we are talking about 250 people attending, so it's intimate. So you really have the opportunity to connect with high-level businessmen and women. And the third, fun. Yes, we will have a great portion of fun at the D-Days. But as you also said, Florian, you can easily, as coming as an attendee here, add on a day or two extra to enjoy Mallorca beside the D-Days.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Terje. Absolutely fantastic. I'm flying back on Wednesday. So I'm flying back next week, Wednesday, to Mallorca and start preparing stuff as well. So I'm massively excited to see many of our team who are already there. Julieta, Andrea, Annika, Gabi, you, Terry, of course, and then Reinhold. So yeah, thank you very much, everybody. Thanks for coming in, for listening in today. And yeah, looking forward to seeing you at the D-Days in Mallorca. Have a great one. Bye, everybody.